Before I tell you my super original joke of how I made 5 figures riding the RKT rocket to the moon on Tuesday and then lost another 5 figures when the rocket crashed on Wednesday, I have a super important update to tell you. I got a new plant. So I went to Costco a couple of days ago to do some market research and see if I should invest in the stock. Just kidding, I'm just there for the $1 hot dog and the drink. That's super important. That's a steal right there. So I bought this plant. It was on sale for like $12. And you can see the name of the plant is Calafia. So I decided to name her Kathy Wood. So back to stocks. So this is RKT on Wednesday. I made money on the way up on day one, which is on Tuesday when we had a high volume stock squeeze from $27 all the way to $42 near the end of the day. So, and I actually carried a lot of the longs overnight and thinking that we're gonna see some continuation. And you can't really see this on this chart, but on Wednesday morning, the stock gapped up to $48. But unfortunately, by the time I woke up, it was already gapping, kind of selling off the entire gap. So on $48, this thing got sold all the way back to $42. And when I saw it, it was trading around $39. So that's why I cut a lot of my losses on my overnight longs. And that's the majority of my losses on RKT long actually. And at the open, I did have some, decent long trade, and then I flipped short over here. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to ride out my short trades. And the stock was very weak. And it just seemed like it was basing around, so I didn't stay for that long. But you can see the stock cracked the 33s and it just tanked down to $29 without me. So yesterday, the majority of my losses was on RKT. On the long side, I had some small shorts, but I wasn't able to get a very good entry, and I wasn't able to ride it out. So that's what ended up the day red. I think like $9,700. I just call it $10,000 loss yesterday. I'm sure some people will be freaking out about that loss in the comment section. But like we often talked about on this channel, everyone's trading account size and risk tolerance is different. So for me, $10,000, while it's not fun, it's not a big loss by any means. And that loss was a little bit over half of my profits from the day before. So coming into today, on Thursday, where I'm preparing for my trades, I actually sized down by half today. So I'm taking smaller sizes after yesterday's red day. It's just my rules where after a red day, whether it doesn't matter whether it's big or small, I size down and just kind of take base hit and trade the plan. And that's exactly what I did today. So on RKT today, the plan was, after seeing how weak the stock was yesterday, the plan was wait for the bounces to around 30s and perhaps 31s to short into. And also the market was really volatile off the open today. And a lot of these stocks were selling off. So that's why I was more short biased on RKT. Even with small size, I scaled in around the $30 resistance from yesterday and then shorted this thing. And then added on the way down, I was actually all out around here by $28 after the $30 average. I was out by like $28.90s. And after seeing how soft the strength was, you can see this thing couldn't even bounce off previous day close. And also at the time, market was still selling off. So I went back in short around the previous day close area, shorted into the 27.80s, added some to 27.60s. And the risk would have been the previous day close, but this thing just tanked. You can see we went all the way down to $26.30, and near the bottom was $25.60. So when the overall market is kind of just selling off, I'm just riding the wave on the way down. Over here, I did go back in for some scalps, but you can see how this thing, the RKT, reclaimed red to green and looks really strong for a second, all the way to almost $30, and then we're right back down with the market again, back to 27s. So I mean, this plays on the long side and the short side, but you just want to make sure you're reading the price action, you're reading the overall market conditions, and playing according to the plan. So very decent trade on this today. The next next stock is SKT. So this thing was up with no news pre-market. You can see we went from pretty much $19 all the way to 25s. That's a pretty strong parabolic move. There was no news on this. The only thing that I could find was that it's one of the stocks that everyone on Reddit was talking about, and it's highly shorted. But when this move happens, you see this parabolic move pre-market. So pre-market, I did have a scalp short around. I started in 24s and added once this topping candle came in, added around 24.60s, and I was just able to ride it down to 23s. And I didn't think it was gonna tank right all the way back to the bottoms to $20. At the time, I wasn't sure whether they are gonna hold up around the 22s, but after seeing how weak it was pre-market, you can see this thing sold off the entire gap. And also market again was a little bit soft, so that's why I was more short bias, looking to short the bounces around to the same levels to the 22s, 22.50s, scale in short. I started back in pre-market and then added on the way up. After the open, we had another spike to 21.50s, rejecting that same $22 level again. You can see very clear on this 2-minute chart. The high was 22.40s. And that was also the high from this pre-market squeeze. And you can see we failed once and twice. And this thing would only be bullish if we can reclaim those highs, but we couldn't do that. And that's why I went back in short and shorted it on the way down, covered most of it here. I had a small chase around here. Again, market was very volatile and selling off very aggressively. So I'm just joining trend to the downside. So I shorted more, $20, 40 cents, and added on the way here to the 20s. Once that cracked, we went all the way down to 1850. So just gotta trade with the market and see what the market condition is like. So another decent trade on this one. And remember, I said I actually sized down today, and I was using half the size I was using yesterday. So even though there were not any individual home run wins, they still added up very nicely today. The next stock is DKNG. This one I traded on the long side. So you can see DKNG also sold off with the market 67 down to $61. I was not involved in the trades early on because I was focused on RKT and SKT. But once the bottom formed around here, you saw the bottom 61, and at the time market was stabilizing. So if you're trading these volatile stocks, you want to make sure you're watching the SPY. So I was watching the market reversing, and I got in starter long around 62.50s, and actually added on the way up 63s. And I wish I held it longer. Obviously, everything's clear in hindsight. But at the time, it just doesn't seem like market was just going to go back straight up. But it did. So I sold way too early around the 63.50s and 63.40s. And you can see the stock later on went to 64 and 65. But when you are kind of longing the bounce after a volatile sell-off, you still have to be careful. So still a good trade on this part. The final trade is NIO. So this one I basically traded the same way as DKNG DraftKings. You can see this thing sold off at the open with the rest of the market. From $42, this thing went all the way down to like 37, 38. I was not involved early on, but same idea as DraftKings. Once start stabilizing, I'm watching the market, watching SPY. I'm not trying to pick the bottoms. If this thing failed the low of the day, I'm out. But only because it's starting holding. You can see on the 2-minute, the selling slowed down. I started in small size, never going full size right away, and added once the bottom set and re-added after this candle breaks out with high volume and rolled on the way up. Of course, I sold a little too early, around 39s, but I held the rest to $40. So I'm really happy about this one. I held this a little bit longer than DraftKings, but you can see this thing went all the way back to like 41, 40s and like almost going green on the day, but I'm just taking the meat of the move. Remember, I had a red day yesterday. So coming into the market today with my share sizes cut in half, basically, my goal was just to plan my trades and trade my plan. The intention was never to make back yesterday's losses, but many times you'll be very surprised that if you focus on size down and just trading the best setups and the best plans, you'll be surprised that you are or I was able to make back some of the losses, all the losses actually from yesterday. So I'm up very decently on the day, and as you can see, focusing both long and short, and focus on the best setups, and I'm able to come out ahead despite yesterday's losses. So if you are somebody who struggles with, let's say you have a green streak of 20 days and you have one red day, followed by multiple red days and losing all the profits from the last 20 days, I think this will be something that would really help you out. Emotionally and mentally speaking, you're sized down with a lot lower share sizes. So you are able to focus on trading well much better rather than sizing up after a red day with the intention of making everything back. So market's definitely been very volatile today, but there's still definitely opportunities to go long and short as long as you're patient and wait for your setups and always manage your risk. And I just gotta thank Kathy Wood here for helping me stay green today. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.